Thank you so much, Dean. It is my true honor and privilege to be here with you today. And in case anyone ever has an idea forgetting who your commencement speaker was in 2021, I put this enormous Under Armour logo directly behind me. So about a month ago, I got a call from Dean Kanana, and I've got to be honest, I wasn't exactly sure why he was calling. He just joined the faculty at Maryland. We'd never met or talked before, and I hopped on the phone, and it was scheduled like the day before. He said, "Kevin, I just want to thank you for agreeing to be our commencement speaker this year." And boom, just like that. I thought to myself, well, Dean, it's nice to meet you too, and I'd love to help. But well, he goes, "We're thrilled that you've accepted. We've already talked to your office all about it." And I said, "But Dean," he said, "Kevin, you're one of the most successful leaders ever to come out of the University of Maryland." And I thought to myself, well, that's really nice, but what about Sergey Brin or Carly Fiorona or Gail King, Jim Henson, Margarita Chang, Larry David? Anyway, he had me at hello. So then I just smiled. I said, "This is truly a man after my own heart." He had a point of view, and he was selling like an entrepreneur. He started with yes. I love that saying. So here we are. I want to thank all of you here today. Dean Kanana, the leadership team, the faculty, honored guests, parents, families, and friends, but especially to you, the Robert H. Smith School of Business, class of 2021. It is truly an honor to be with you here today. You've achieved something amazing, and you should be proud. So today, we salute you. Today, we congratulate you. Today, we celebrate you. So like all commencement speakers, though, I want to make sure that I left you with something worthwhile. Maybe some bit of advice or wisdom that I'd leaned on during my own journey that I could share with you. So in preparation for today, I went to YouTube. And I watched Steve Jobs' famous commencement at Stanford, and Admiral McRaven's Make Your Bed speech at Texas, and Chadwick Boseman's speech at Howard, Sheryl Sandberg's iconic Lean In speech at Bernard. I wanted this speech to be memorable for you, but nothing was clicking. I knew I could talk about the strange and tumultuous past year we've had, developing new muscles that none of us knew that we needed, but now recognize what an incredibly powerful and evolved world that we're leading into. These are important topics, but I'm sure there's about 1,000 other speakers talking about them. So let me sum up what I believe is important into just a few moments. I thought about one idea where I went for inspiration is a place I'm familiar with. It's at Under Armour in my office there, where I've kept whiteboards since the day that we started. Over the years, I've recorded things on those whiteboards, a word, a fragment, a sentence, an inspiration, and I can either add to them or subtract to them, but the whiteboard gave it life or something to erase, delete. There are hundreds of these sayings over the years. One of them is start with yes, which is what attracted me to Dean Kanana when he asked me that. Another one is very simply, bet on Maryland. These sayings over the years, they've inspired the culture that is the company of Under Armour. They've inspired the place that we've come to, the build that we have, the way that we interact with one another. Bet on Maryland was one that stuck out for a very specific reason. It reminds me of the mindset that I had when I originally wrote it, probably 7 or 8 years ago. At the time, we'd gone for a few candidates that we tried to hire and deals to sign and people to start doing business with, and one by one, they all said no. So I thought of this phrase and this, you know what? Forget these guys. Love the ones that you're with. Shifting our focus away from trying to find those other things we don't have versus focusing on the things that we do, the resources we do, the skill sets we do, the networks that we have. One of my networks is this university. This school is my home team. It's Under Armour's home team. That, in a simple sense, is where the phrase came from. But it also has a bigger meaning. Bet on Maryland means betting on yourself, rooting for what you have, because in the end, that's all you've got. When I founded Under Armour with my partner, Kip Fulks, lacrosse player here at the University of Maryland, well, we were the only ones that would bet on us. There was this idea. A lot of people told us that it wouldn't work, but it was mine, it was ours, and we went after it. We bet on Maryland. The first Under Armour product, that tight sweat-wicking t-shirt, was made right here in College Park. My first customers, so to speak, were the people who I'd met in school, my classmates, my professors, and finally my football teammates. The ones that would actually test the shirts and tell me, did I have an idea that could work? Or did I have to convince these skeptical athletes to try something on that at the time they didn't know was actually women's lingerie? Thank goodness the product spoke for itself, or I never would have lived that one down. Bet on yourself. Be relentless with your dreams. You and you alone know what you're capable of doing. Don't let the self-doubt creep in. Don't let the noise of the naysayers distract you. And it's often said that the sports world is analogous to the business world. In fact, it's true. It's actually where my two worlds intersect. And I think the Bet on Maryland mentality is demonstrated very well through the examples of 3 Under Armour athletes. 3 people with whom I've had the privilege of getting to know and work. Like, this is pretty obvious, but it's not hard when you say Brady, Curry, Vaughn. First, Stephen Curry. A classic example of a 3-star recruit out of high school that didn't get recruited anywhere, including his father's alma mater. And in doing that, he ended up going to a small school, Davidson. And from that, he bet on himself. Right into the NBA. Right into 3 NBA championships, 2 MVPs, and probably the greatest shooter in the history of the game. Secondly is Tom Brady, who doesn't take second to anyone. But it's hard to remember that he too was once an underdog, 199th draft pick in the NFL. 7 Super Bowl wins later will make you forget all of that. But he never did, he never has, and that chip still sits squarely on his shoulder, which has him looking for number 8. Lindsey Vonn, who's lived through so much strife, adversity, broken arms, ankles, ligaments. People told her she should quit, but she wouldn't. And she kept fighting on to become the greatest female skier of all time, but more importantly, one of the greatest skiers of all time, period. 3 Olympic medals and 82 World Cup championships will actually do that to you. These athletes never stopped betting on themselves, just like we never did. That original Under Armour shirt went on to sell millions and millions of units, but that didn't happen on day one. It happened because we relentlessly came back and improved it over the course of actually the first 5 years. It's all that we did. And during those years, there were many times that Under Armour was out of money or on the verge of folding that you too may very well find yourself in. But I know that you won't quit. And that's the terp in you. And that's the superpower that you're getting by walking off stage with this degree. We never quit. We made that bet on Maryland. And I damn sure was going to follow through on it. Bet on Maryland means rooting for the home team. I didn't do what I did at Under Armour alone. It's part of a team. Our first employees, or teammates as we call them, they were the friends that I met along the way. People from high school, my post-grad year at Fork Union, my fellow students and student athletes here at Maryland. I leaned on them. They leaned on me. We bet on each other. We maximized and amplified the resources we had. In the process, we developed some of the coolest things in the world in addition to product: loyalty and trust. Or even better put, alignment. Alignment. We made sure that our goals and definitions of success were the same and figured out a way to use that to make all of us better. Being a good teammate to everyone. Employees, teammates, customers, shareholders, athletes, the person who holds the door. It's at the core of Under Armour's DNA to this day, even as we've grown to become a multi-billion-dollar global company. Your team may very well be sitting right next to you right now. The people that you've studied with, or the people in your cohort. After all, you're all aligned with the same desire for success and your love of Maryland. Don't take this community for granted. Choose and create this community. Bet on the people around you. Be loyal to each other. Be aligned. Bet on Maryland means being inclusive and welcoming to a new community, to new teammates. Invite them into your family. Make a bet on a younger person. Make a bet on someone who comes from a different background. Make a bet on someone who didn't have the same advantages that you have, or maybe that you have not. Make a bet and make these bets and then support the hell out of your team. Believe in them. Give them opportunities they might not otherwise have had. Be generous. This has been a central tenet of Under Armour since the beginning. The biggest reason why? I certainly had many people, especially people from this Maryland family, bet on me and give me an opportunity over the years when I had no money and little experience. We wouldn't have made it without them, but somewhere in there was find a way. And maybe above all else, bet on Maryland means being an entrepreneur. Easy for me to say. The dictionary definition of an entrepreneur is a bearer of risk. Go all in, don't hedge. Entrepreneurship is what makes this world go round. You have, through your years of hard work, earned and learned a tool set that now allows you to do pretty much anything that you want. What your MBA really is a license to be an entrepreneur. Maybe you want that big promotion at work. Well, be an entrepreneur, a risk bearer, and go for it. Find a way. Raise your hand. Ask for it. And I'm also guessing that many of you in the audience right now have thought about starting your own business someday. This is a moment where you look to the left and your dad and your mom and you sort of nod your head and go, they're talking about me. I am. Maybe you've had that idea, but you're not sure that you've got all the pieces set up. I urge you to think about going for it. Really think about it. Yeah, to be entrepreneurial, to get into the school and then get your degree. You've got the skill set now to go for it, whether it's in your career or in starting a new business. Don't stop now. Double down and take that bet. Graduates of the Robert H. Smith School of Business, this is a life-altering moment for you. As of right now, you are no longer the leaders of tomorrow. You are the leaders of today. This is almost your great burden that you have to carry. More important though, this is your great opportunity. Seize it. Don't hedge. Bet on those around you. Bet on yourself. Be generous. Bet on Maryland. Thank you all so much. This is my hometown, my home team. It's where I met my bride and the mother of my children. I want to say, like I always do, go Under Armour, but go Terps and bet on Maryland. We'll be rooting for you, that's for sure. Thank you.